Even Field Honors, Andy Gacioch.
Football represents struggle and how you face struggle. It's probably one of the most tolling sports, not just physically, but also mentally too. You know, how do you deal with a loss and you get hurt? How do you deal with that, right? So you can use a lot of what you learn from football and the mentality you get from it in everyday life.
That's Tyler Rindo after his junior year at Rhode Island's Tiverton High School, reflecting on a football season that almost wasn't. At the center of that season was Andy Gacioch, a Tiverton graduate who won a championship as a player and had gone on to be defensive coordinator there for more than a decade. Gacioch's son, Matt, had been quarterback in 2018 when the team won its last championship. In the fall of 2025, Gacioch returned to Tiverton as head coach, a program that had struggled since COVID and was now short of players. Athletic director Ken Gouveia.
Last year we had 17 seniors, so we lost a good group of seniors. Coming into this year, we had about a half dozen kids who were returning decide not to play. So that put an already low number even lower. We had some injuries early on, and that really put us in a tough spot going into the season.
Andy Gacioch had waited a long time to be a head coach, but now the circumstances he faced would force him to channel his competitive drive in a way he never imagined. With 7 more players lost to injury in a 49-0 opening loss, it was clear that competing at the varsity level with so few players posed an unacceptable risk of injury.
Those 2 games that we had to forfeit before we officially forfeited our varsity season, those were tough decisions because students, like I said, were coming to practice every single day, but we just couldn't get a full offensive line together. You know, and for me, that's the position you need to keep everybody safe.
The coaches were in agreement, and the administration made it official. Now, the players had to be told.
We sat them down on the hill down at the middle school, and I explained to them that the news I'm going to give you guys, some of you will be upset, and some of you will be relieved. And you can see it on the faces of the younger players, and they understood that being freshmen, body size, strength-wise, they could be overmatched every single week.
For veteran players like Tyler Rindo, there was disappointment.
It was pretty frustrating, right? I mean, you get mad at first, and then you realize this, it was the best thing for us, right? Given the cards we were dealt, it had to be done.
Even though our kids had to play a JV schedule, our kids were not only being treated like a high school varsity program, they were getting coached like a college program, you know, and they watch video, they're in the weight room, doing all the right things.
And I explained to the older guys, we're all together on this. I said, if we don't have the freshmen, we don't even have a team at all. You know, so the continuity between the older kids and the younger kids, it was there because they had to rely on each other. And they just kept coming every single day. And they kept practicing every single day. You know, pushing the sled was a huge chore for us, a 5-man sled. Years ago, we could push it up and back twice, no problem. Get it done in 10 minutes. This group of boys, because we were so young, it took us a little time. And that's not a fun activity to do for young kids. It's a heavy sled. And one of the goals we've always had here at Tiverton High School is, can the offensive line flip the sled? The one time we were able to do it this year, they were so excited. We took pictures of it. With those types of challenges, they were kind of understanding that if we keep working at it, we're going to achieve that goal.
That positive approach earned Gouveia's respect.
I think most coaches would have been very discouraged. We were going week to week with whether we had enough bodies to play a game. They always prepared every week like it was a varsity game. I think the kids really saw that and appreciated that.
It's really how to handle adversity, per se, and how to keep moving forward and just staying strong, because life in real life is not always going to go your way.
That is perseverance personified, what we saw this year over here.
It's a growing program. It's a program where there are dedicated coaches, dedicated players. They come to a new weight room that was just built a year ago. And in another year or so, Tiverton football will be back to where it was.
Even Field Honors is proud to partner with the Rhode Island Interscholastic League and deeply grateful for the support of Mark Cruz and the Virtus Group.